Hi, and welcome to another Due Process Snapshot video. My name is Jenny Porsche, and I am the Early Childhood Special Education Coordinator, and today we're going to be reviewing the Minnesota State Autism Spectrum Disorder Checklist. When completing a special education evaluation in which you are considering the category of ASD, you must include the criteria checklist in the interpretation results section of the Special Education Evaluation Report in Infinite Campus. This is the criteria checklist that you will find in IC. The child must meet all required components of the checklist in order to be found eligible under the category of ASD. The student must meet criteria listed in sections A and B. So within section A, they must meet sub-items in group 1 and 2 or 3. And in section B, they must meet all 4 items listed under verification. Here is a visual of all the required components. So you can see within section A, in group 1, they must check off at least 2 items, and they must check off at least 1 item in group 2 or 1 item in group 3, and they must meet all 4 items under verification in section B. The next few slides will break down each sub-item and what is required. So in sub-item group 1, you must be able to check off at least 2 items from this checklist. This is going to be qualitative impairment of social interaction as documented by 2 or more behavioral indicators. So you must be able to check off 2 of these items. You then must be able to check off at least 1 item in group 2, which is qualitative impairment in communication, or 1 item in group 3, which is restricted, repetitive, or stereotyped patterns of behavior, interest, and activities as documented by 1 or more behavioral indicators. You must also be able to check off all 4 items listed under verification. So here we must be able to show that we have present levels of performance in each item that we checked off in group 1, 2, or 3. You must also have educational needs in each item that we checked off in group 1, 2, or 3. You must also have observations of the student in 2 different settings on 2 different days. You then conclude it with a summary of the student's behavioral or developmental history and behavior patterns. You must also make sure that for each item that you check off in the sub-item groups 1 and 2 or 3, that you have the evidence in the written evaluation to support why you checked off that item. So for example, in sub-item group 1, if I were to check off the 2 boxes, does not show or bring things to others to indicate interest in the activity, and I also check off demonstrates difficulty relating to people, objects, and events, I must have evidence in my evaluation that shows that the child has difficulty doing these things. That evidence can be through parent and teacher interview, observation, and/or standardized testing. The other requirements, so for elementary and secondary evaluations, the state requires that the team be multidisciplinary, and that includes having at least 1 professional with experience and expertise in the area of ASD. At a minimum, this professional can complete the observation portion of the evaluation. Ecsc evaluation requirements look a little different. We are not required to have an individual that specializes or has an ASD license, though it is highly preferred. The team must and should include a school psychologist, though, who would also have the experience around the characteristics of ASD. The IEP requirements differ just a little bit as well. In the elementary and secondary area, the state requires that there be an IEP team member that is licensed in the child's area of disability, where in ECSE that is not a requirement and does not apply to Part C or preschool age students in Part B. If you have further questions or need assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out to your building coordinator and or supervisor. Thank you.